Hi, welcome to another session on alternate learning and earning models. This video is mainly for people who have corporate experience anywhere between 2 to 10 years and keen to have an alternative online income through a side hustle. People who do not have any corporate experience will also benefit from the tips that we share here. However, some sections of this video may not be relevant to them. Today we will discuss a very common concern that most of you who are new to online income seem to have. The concern is failure to establish an alternative income online even though you're qualified, certified and have extensive experience. Another concern is why is this working for others who are probably not as experienced or efficient as you are and yet they are doing considerably well and this whole thing is not quite working for you at all though you have the same skills and perhaps better competence. This may lead you to doubt your own expertise, which obviously you may have proved several times in different companies and multiple projects. That can be extremely damaging for your confidence, making things worse for you because you tend to lose the required mental construct to perform well or learn something new in such a state of mind. When this happens, you have to remember that it is not about your existing skills at all, skills that you're good at. That is not the area of concern because that's not really the reason for poor or non response from global clients. The demand for your skills and services definitely exists. It is mainly because you need a few more skills that you probably did not have to learn or exercise in corporate scenario. However, you have to use those skills more often here. This learning is very different from what you have learned in an offline job environment. It is more to do with your credibility in a particular domain where no one knows you and does not always have access to your past portfolio. So, the questions that you may want to get started with are: do you have a powerful online presence relevant to your work? How do you project yourself in the online world? What is your online branding like? What is your inward marketing strategy so that you do not have to reach out to the clients? They will look for you instead. Are you aware of the basics like how to frame the initial communication and maintain regular correspondence with global clients? Do you have the required mental model to manage expectations, your own, the world around you, and your clients effectively? In future videos, we will address each one of these separately in detail depending on the demand we receive. However, before we share tips and pointers, we need to build the foundation well enough for you to not just absorb new information but process and apply it in practical situations. Now, one of the adult learning theories that we use for beginners is the constructivist theory. Let's briefly discuss that here so that you have an idea how to go about your learning curve. People interpret and construct their understanding and knowledge of the world through experience. When we face or experience something new or reflect on those experiences, we have to reconcile that new piece of information with our existing knowledge, previous ideas, past experience, do some adjustments by changing what we believe, or completely ignore the new information as insignificant and irrelevant. To be able to do this, we must ask questions, be curious, deep dive, and assess what we know. So, constructivism transforms the learner from being just a recipient of information to an active participant. The idea is fundamentally to construct additional knowledge not just by capturing information from different sources, which could be books or coaching or online, but to actively experiment those techniques in real time for real world problem resolution. That is the surest way to create knowledge further over and above what you already know. When you reflect on your experience, share and talk about what you're doing, that exercise automatically changes your understanding about the subject and enhances your competence. As an example, let us deal with the first question. Do you have a powerful online presence relevant to your work? Tip number one, create a free website yourself. Now, you know what to do. However, that is mere information. Step 1, you research how to do it. Step 2, You attempt to create your website. Step 3, you actively maintain the site. Step 4, you measure results. Now you have one ready tip, steps to execute, and two choices. Choice number 1, you work on the website. Choice 2, you move to the next step without trying the first one. Most of the beginners who do not succeed choose to move from one piece of information to another, sometimes from different sources, instead of processing or acting on the information they receive. If you do not process, question, act, and assess, there will be no reconciliation with what you already know and believe. Consequently, you end up receiving a heavy download of information only and do not quite learn anything. As an exercise, you may want to pick each question and source tips, steps to engage in self learning and reconcile new inputs you receive with what you know based on the experiences you have. Till the next video, practice some constructivism to learn something new.